Well, in Turkey, police have used tear gas and water cannon to disperse hundreds of people protesting in Istanbul against the killing of a leading pro-Kurdish lawyer. Tahir Elci was shot dead in the southeastern city of Diyarbakir during a battle between police and gunmen. From Istanbul, Mark Lowen reports.
A street battle in southeast Turkey, the city of Diyarbakir suddenly consumed by gunfire. Policemen shooting in both directions, journalists huddling for safety. A chaotic scene with tragic consequences. The target was Tahir Elci, a top pro-Kurdish lawyer and human rights activist. He was there to call for an end to the violence between Turkish forces and PKK Kurdish rebels. He uttered the words, "We do not want guns and clashes." Then he was shot dead. Some reports spoke of a targeted killing with a bullet to the head. Others say he was caught up in crossfire between gunmen and police. Government supporters call it a PKK attack. Opponents say he was killed by Turkish nationalists. In Istanbul, anger boiled over among those who believe the state is responsible. Some 2,000 protesters were soon dispersed by water cannon, the police sealing off the area. A sign of the deep polarization at the heart of Turkish society. President Erdogan spoke briefly of the killing, and it was clear which side he blamed.
I express my condolences for Mr. Elci and our policeman who has been martyred. This incident shows Turkey was right in its fight against terrorism. Our fight against terrorism will continue until the end.
Tahir Elci was in the spotlight last month after he said on air that the PKK was not a terrorist organisation. He was charged with terrorist propaganda, prosecutors calling for a 7-year sentence. After that, he received death threats. Violence has flared between the Turkish state and PKK since July, when a ceasefire broke down. Dozens have been killed by both sides. President Erdogan promised stability when the party he founded won the recent election, but the attacks continue. Tahir Elci, a voice of peace and a passionate advocate of human rights, silenced too soon. Mark Lowen, BBC News, Istanbul.
Well, a short while ago, I spoke to Suat Kiniklioglu. He's a former AK Party MP, now Executive Director of the Centre for Strategic Communication there. I began by asking him whether he thought the killing was targeted.
It's difficult to ascertain that at this time. I've watched some of the videos showing when he was killed. He could be, find himself in a crossfire from back and forth. But I think it's too early to tell. Unfortunately, we have a history of targeted killings in the region. However, I would not go as far at this time and wait to see the investigation to conclude.
There's been protest in at least 4 cities in Turkey. Could this killing further worsen relations between the PKK and Turkish government?
Unfortunately, it could. Tahir Elci was a very renowned human rights lawyer. He has devoted his life for the cause of human rights, especially Kurdish issues. His death is going to contribute to the ongoing psychological breaking of our Kurdish citizens from the rest of the country.
And you spoke a bit about the investigation that is now ongoing into Mr. Elci's death. Do you believe that investigation will be transparent?
Unfortunately, I'm not very confident. We had a number of violent incidents in the last couple of months where the public was not able to find out who was responsible, including bombings in Suruç, in Ankara. So I'm not too hopeful that we will find out who was responsible.
Coming on to the Russian sanctions announced a few hours ago against Turkey, knowing Mr. Erdogan, President Erdogan, as you do, how do you think he will react to the sanctions?
I think President Erdogan today made every gesture possible short of apologizing. He said he was sorry. And he obviously has an interest in de-escalating the tension between the two countries. The package that was announced today by the Putin is, I think, an escalation. But as your report suggested, It doesn't go to the heart of the matter, basically the energy relationship, and also direct flights from Russia to Turkey. I think the tension will more be seen in Syria, where the proxy war will probably intensify, the Russians making it very hard for Turkey's allies to operate on the ground in Syria.
I'm the leading state sponsor of terrorism.